This dream says that one day he would be greater than them. They would be worshiping him. He would lead them. And so he don't listen to his father. He goes and he tells his brothers about this dream. And you know we all got siblings, don't we? And you imagine being the oldest sibling and your younger sibling coming to you talking about a dream they had, talking about, I'm going to be better than you.
Right.
And listen, here's the reality. If I, as an older sibling, have the right heart and the right mindset, then I expect my younger sibling to be better than me. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because some of us, we hate on our own family members because we don't want nobody to do better than us. But as we keep watching Joseph's story, the Bible says that a day comes when his father sends him to his brothers, right? And so as he's approaching, the brothers from a distance see, hey, there go that dreamer. Yeah, the one who said we gonna be worshiping him. Okay, I tell you what we gonna do. Why don't we just go ahead and kill him? That's how much hatred they had for their brother. And his dream didn't help. He already had a coat of many colors that they didn't have. Can we talk about this? What they had been harboring, they now wanted to make manifest. And so what happens is, when he gets there, they rip the coat up off of him. They say, we've been waiting to do this. We got you to ourselves. But he had one brother. And the one brother said, hey man, listen, let's not kill him. Let's just leave him in the pit. Because in his mind, if we leave him in the pit, everybody gonna leave. I can come back, rescue him, and take him back to daddy. But he don't get the chance. He ends up leaving, and while he's away, the brothers see some traders, and they end up selling Joseph into slavery. Mm-hmm. Ooh, talk about going through some things. So Joseph's story begins here in betrayal. So if you're taking notes, the first thing I'd like for you to write down is this: faith sees purpose in the pit.
All right.
Right? His brothers threw him into a pit and sold him into slavery. Now, this pit wasn't an accident. The pit wasn't random, and the pit wasn't the end. And sometimes, family, when you're in a pit, you only see the dirt walls around you. You don't see the destiny. But faith says, if I'm here, God must be doing something. Now, family, some of us have had the unfortunate opportunity, I say unfortunate opportunity because it's not fun, right? To have an MRI done, right? And they put you on this what seems like a very narrow table. And then once they have you in the table, they got you hooked up to all of these things. This little machine seems to take its time, right? And very slowly it guides you into this very small space. And if you're claustrophobic like I am, it's just not a comfortable position. But while you're in there, there's all these boop, 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 boop. Anybody ever been in the MRI machine? Okay, so you understand how uncomfortable that could be. And the machine, but here's the thing to recognize about that machine. The machine is not there to harm you. That machine is diagnosing and positioning you for a healing. And for Joseph, the pit was his MRI. It revealed what was in him and prepared him for where he was going. Now, some of us have had pits in our past. Can we talk about this? The pit of divorce. The pit of betrayal. The pit of financial collapse. The pit of the season of depression. The pit of a public failure. But family, faith declares that the pit was not punishment, it was preparation. Now, Joseph would later say to his brothers, by the time we reach chapter 50 in the book of Genesis, he says that you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. See, God looks back, faith looks back and sees what hurt me also shaped me. And family, this is important because sometimes we don't understand why we're in the pit. Sometimes we think that, man, I don't know how I got here. Sometimes we begin to feel like, man, it's over for me. There's no way I'm going to get out of this situation I'm in. There's no way it's going to get better. And you can't seem to find the light at the end of the tunnel. But can I just encourage you on this morning? Listen, when Joseph's brothers threw him into that pit, he had no idea what was going to become of him. But guess what we're going to see? We're going to see the glory of God and how God sometimes will orchestrate pits for us. Because notice there was nothing that Joseph did.
Right.
Because some of us are there. Some of us done some stuff. Can we be real? Can we talk? Some of us done some stuff. We should be in the pit. We should be in the pit. But Joseph hadn't done anything wrong to deserve being put in a pit. And guess what? Some of us today find ourselves in that very situation. We say, I did nothing to contribute to being in this place in life. And I want to encourage you, if that is where you see yourself right now, know that God is working something out in you. But you're going to have to be willing to keep the faith and keep your trust in him and know that his plan and purpose for your life is perfect and it's not by accident. With God, you will not fail. The next thing is faith sees provision in the prison. So not only did Joseph's brothers seek to destroy him, get rid of him, make him go away. You know how it is when we have a problem, we just want the problem to go away. Well, his brothers wanted him to go away because to them, he was the problem. Well, not only did he endure that, but Joseph gets sold into slavery and finds his way into Potiphar's house.
Yeah.
Now, Potiphar takes a liking to Joseph and sees that all that he does, the Lord blesses him. And he says, well, man, listen, the only person greater than you in this kingdom is going to be me because I'm Potiphar. But everything else, you got the same jurisdiction, you got the same influence, you got the same authority. And it would seem like Joseph done made it. He went from the pit
To the palace.
But then he gets to the palace, and you know how the enemy will work, don't you?
Talk about it.
Potiphar had a wife. Lord have mercy, Jesus. And Joseph must have been a handsome brother like me. You know, she just couldn't take her eyes off of him. Couldn't get him off of her mind. She all on his Facebook and Instagram, checking them out. And she is making advances at him constantly. And the first time she makes an advance, he's like, nah. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, however many times she advances at him, he turns her down. And some of you sisters know how y'all is. The brother turn you down, you turn it up. Come on now. He turn you down, you turning it up. You intensifying your efforts. And it happened one day that Joseph was there, and Potiphar's wife, she grabbed him. And she said, come lie with me. And Joseph said, how could I do such a thing? And he loosed his coat and he left.
Took out running.
And she lied. She lied. When Potiphar returned, she lied and said this. He tried to come on to me, and I screamed. I hollered. And Joseph ended up in jail. So wait a minute. Joseph was thrown into a pit. He was sold into slavery. It seems like he's been redeemed. And now he's being thrown into prison. Wait a minute. But Pastor, how does it play into Joseph's dream? Because Joseph didn't dream none of that. The dream Joseph had said he was going to be great. So what does this mean that his dream is over? Because he was great in Potiphar's house. Does this mean his dream is over? Absolutely not. While he is there, let's see what happens. Joseph did everything right in Potiphar's house. Everything right, and he ended up in prison anyway. Family, have you ever obeyed God and still suffered?
Oh, yes.
That's a difficult thing for most people. Because I'm doing the right things, but the wrong things keep happening to me. You didn't see anybody gonna testify on this morning. I'm giving all that I got. I'm trusting God. I'm being faithful. I'm sacrificing. I'm being obedient. But it seems like the blessings just keep missing me.
Yeah.
Joseph was in prison. And he's interpreting dreams in prison, helping others. And then he's forgotten. See, what happens while Joseph is in prison, there is a cupbearer and a chief baker that are imprisoned by Pharaoh. Okay? Now, Pharaoh is greater than Potiphar. Amen. His cupbearer and chief baker are now in prison with Joseph, and he has a dream. And he interprets this dream that, well, one of you gonna be restored and one of you gonna die, right? And so, just as he interpreted it, it happened. But he told him, he said, hey, Mr. Cupbearer, remember me when you get up out this thing. Remember, I'm the one doing this. Remember me. But he forgot all about it. Until such time, Pharaoh, there's a dream that they can't interpret. And then the cupbearer remembers Joseph. He said, hey man, this is a Hebrew dude up at the jail. And he helped me with this dream, and I apologize for not telling you about this sooner. But he helped me with this dream, and it happened just as he said. He said, well, go get him. Go find out what this means. And because Joseph was unable to interpret the dream, Pharaoh took this brother and made him number 2 in all of Egypt. And I know you're wondering, well, what happened after this? Let's talk about this. So Joseph was forgotten by people, but he was not forgotten by God.
That's it. That's good.
Right,
That's good.
Sometimes it feel like people don't forgot about you. People forgot what you did for them when you was up, and now you're not up, and you need somebody to, y'all don't want to have this conversation. They forgot all about you. They forgot where you come from. Huh? I ain't gonna go there, but y'all know it's all in the social media right now. People forget about where they came from. But the reality is this: God has not forgotten about you. Family, sometimes, anybody in here shop on Amazon? Anybody Amazon Prime members? Okay, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 people being honest. Everybody else like, I don't want to put my hand up. My husband, my baby gonna know what I've been doing. All right, so listen. There have been times when I've ordered things on Amazon. And the next day I'm checking. Where's it at? I want to see where it is in process. And then there's the rare occasion when I don't see that needle move. I don't see that bar progressing. And then my mind's like, wait, they told me I'm a Prime member. I got 1 to 2 the next day shipping. Right? But it ain't moving. Well, the reality is this. For days, it looks like it's sitting in one place. And it says that it's in transit. It says, don't call the office because they can only see what you see. See, I don't want to have this conversation. It says in transit, it doesn't look like movement, but it's still moving according to schedule. Joseph's life was in transit. Just because nothing seemed to be happening doesn't mean God isn't working. Family, faith says that delays are not denials. Detours are not defeats. And silence is not an abandonment. It says when you look back at your prison seasons, can you see what God was building in you? Patience, character. Won't it help your prayer life?
Oh, yeah.
Dependence on God. See, faith sees God's fingerprints on seasons that once felt empty. But family, here's the next thing I want you to write down if you're taking notes. So, number 1 was faith sees purpose in the pit. Number 2 is faith sees providence in the prison. And number 3 is faith sees promise beyond the palace. So Joseph eventually becomes second in command in all of Egypt. And it happens just as he told the Pharaoh it would. There's a severe famine in the land. He saves many nations, and he reconciles with his family. Yeah, the same brothers that sought to kill him, he reconciles with them. So for all of us that think that there's somebody that can do something that's so bad that you can't reconcile, that you can't forgive, guess what? Joseph did it. So what does that mean for us? If Joseph can do it, surely we can do it. But family, Hebrews chapter 11:22 doesn't mention any of those things. It says, by faith Joseph, when he was dying, made mention of the departure of the children of Israel and gave instructions concerning his bones. Watch this. At the height of Egyptian power, Joseph said, don't bury me here permanently. When God brings you out, take my bones with you. Joseph had lived most of his life in Egypt. He had wealth in Egypt. He had power in Egypt. He had influence in Egypt. But his faith wasn't in Egypt. His faith was in God's promise to Abraham. Somebody say, Father Abraham.
Father Abraham.
He was saying, I may die here, but this is not our final destination. My story isn't just about survival, it's about promise. Joseph looked back over betrayal, over prison, over slavery, over promotion, over reconciliation, and saw one steady thread. And it was God was faithful. And because God was faithful in his past, Joseph trusted God with his future. Family, faith sees that every chapter was connected. Now, faith will reframe a story, right? Faith, this is number 4, faith reframes my story. Family, we all tell stories about our past. All the things that we did, all the things we used to do. Well, some of us scared because we care too much about people don't think about us. That's why Rev don't care. I tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. I tell you stuff you don't, I tell you stuff, you be like, Rev, you didn't have to tell me that. I'm going to tell you anyway. Because I need you to know that God reframed my story. Little boy, I had a problem with touching stuff that didn't belong to me. Started with my mama's purse. Amen. It started easy, you know, a couple quarters here, $1 there. But then I got bolder. $5. It's the early 90s. This ain't like $5 today. $5 today won't get you a bag of chips and a soda. But $5 back then, I could play Super Street Fighter at the arcade. I could buy me 4 bags of chips, 3 sodas, and still have $2 left over. See, that was the value of $5 back then. And over the course of time and of life, I made subsequent bad decisions because that I had an incorrect and unhealthy relationship with stuff. And I think sometimes because we grow up in different ways and we see and experience different things, we have a desire for things that we may not have a means for. And so illegitimately, we look for ways to. And family, when I tell you that I am a prime example of how God can reframe some stuff, people counted me out. They say he just can't get it right. As soon as it seemed like he's doing good, well, he wasn't. And the reality is this, family. We all have areas of a deficiency in our lives, but we have to recognize that without God, we won't be able to bridge the gap. Because he is the bridge. And we have to be willing to have faith and step out, trusting and knowing that he is able. Now, family, We must be willing to see God's hand, even in our present. You know, it's easy to look back and say, man, I see what God was doing then. But sometimes when you're in the middle of it, I'm going through and you like, I can't see God's hand. Right? We have to be willing to acknowledge that God's hand is still hovering over our life. Listen, I don't know what you may be going through on today. I don't know what challenges you may be facing. I don't know what difficulties you may have been having. But one thing I need you to know is that if you are a believer, God's hand is over your life. And watch this. Those who are walking with the Lord, if you are walking with God, then be assured that he's walking with you. And that there is nothing that is too hard for him. There's nothing that he can't do. And I'm sure there's about 5, 6, 7, 8 people in here that can testify that even when I thought it wasn't going to work out, God did it.
Yes, he did.
And so, family, listen, on this morning, the question I have for you is this. Can you see God's hand over your past? Or are you still stuck in the pit? Still chained to the prison? Still grieving what happened? Joseph could see God's hand because he trusted God. And some of us struggle to see God's hand through painful chapters of our lives because we've never placed our hand in his. The greatest proof that God works, family, is this. It's through painful chapters and him going to the cross. Jesus was betrayed. Jesus was falsely accused. He was sentenced and he was crucified. And from earth's perspective, it all looked like tragedy. But family, I am here as a witness today that it didn't end there. From heaven's perspective, it was redemption. And guess what that looks like for you and I? Redemption. Listen, if you're here today and you say, I want that. If you're here